Kristaps Porzingis did what? That's right. He overruled the medical staff in Game 5 to play with his brothers, and it was well deserved as the Celtics brought Banner 18 home. With Kristaps Porzingis having this injury looming and getting an update from Tim Bontemps saying that Kristaps Porzingis is going to require surgery in the offseason, how is this going to affect Kristaps Porzingis preparing for the squad next year and ultimately bringing Banner 18 for the Celtics looking to be back-to-back champions? We'll be diving in, looking at all of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Velez. If you guys do enjoy the content today, though, do hit that like button as we would greatly appreciate it over here on Celtics Digest. Without further ado, though, let's dive into the video at hand today. Make sure to grab a snack. And like I mentioned in the introduction, Kristaps Porzingis is a beast. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This man came out and overruled the medical staff in Game 5 to make sure he got on the court with his brothers, with his teammates, and won the championship with this team as a whole. We want to look at this quote here from Joe Mazzulla on Pardon My Take this morning. We can see that Joe said when it was Game 5 at home, it was like, hey, this might be it. I've got to be out there. He was like, I'm playing. This is what Kristaps Porzingis had to say. He was like, I'm playing. He overrode the medical team. It was just like, I'm playing. Credit to him. And this is what you love to hear out of a guy in Kristaps Porzingis. As we know, he is this beast for the Boston Celtics. He has come over and sacrificed so much to try to win this championship. He didn't play in the FIBA World Cup with Latvia, even though they had a good chance of, dominating in that World Cup to make sure he was healthy for this team for the regular season. There were times during the regular season where he was out for extra precautions, and there were rumors that the Celtics were holding him out due to the fact they just wanted to make sure that KP was okay for an extra amount of time because the Celtics didn't need those wins because they had a 20-point lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. Kristaps Porzingis sat out and didn't complain during those moments. But when it was come to playoffs and he needed to be out there, he wanted to be out there with their brothers, they made sure of it. Joe did say on Pardon My Take that the Celtics were going to utilize him regardless of the fact if maybe there was a jump ball late in the end of the game, they would have thrown in Kristaps Porzingis to kind of throw off the Mavericks. If they needed a couple rebounds or some extra rim protection late at the end of the game, they would have thrown in KP. Or if they were winning and, blowing a team out by, 20 or 25, KP would have touched the floor for the last, 5 to 6 minutes alongside his brothers, alongside his bench mob units, just to make sure that he got some floor and got the pride and, standing ovation that he did deserve for coming over to Boston, taking that sacrificial role, being that third star, and ultimately it paying off to win for a championship. I have to say one thing to Kristaps Porzingis, though. It is thank you for coming over and thank you for being such a fantastic piece for this squad, fitting in, being that, fantastic scorer down low in the post, rim protector, shot blocker, basically doing all that. And regardless with the injuries, regardless of, having to sit out for multiple times, when he was brought back into this lineup, he seemingly fit in right back like he never left, like we saw in Game 1 versus the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals. Let me know how you guys feel about this. Let me know what you guys think about Kristaps Porzingis, because man, oh man, if I had this injury in my right leg from the playoffs in Game 4, and then I had an injury in my other leg from the Dallas Mavericks, I don't know if I'd want to be able to go out there. Both legs hurting, both legs, not being fully 100%. You got to give it to Kristaps Porzingis. He threw his body out on the line for the Boston Celtics, and as we all know, he did say that he would die out there for this Boston Celtics team. So that's one thing to be happy for. He was a man of his words. He was willing to throw his body, his career on the line for the Boston Celtics, and ultimately it paid off with them bringing a championship. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Next, though, we have to get into the other bit of news talking about Kristaps Porzingis, because even though he was fantastic in coming back and really playing for this team in Game 5 and showing out in the playoffs, there is some bad news revolving around Kristaps Porzingis. As we all know, he did suffer some injuries throughout the playoffs, and he is going to require some surgery in the off season. We want to look at these tweets from Tim Bontemps here. We can see that Celtics center Kristaps Porzingis returned to the court for Game 5 of the NBA Finals, playing on his rare left leg injury he suffered in Game 2, one that he told ESPN will require surgery and that it will have a few months of a long recovery process. So similar to how he had to deal with his plantar fasciitis in the summer with the Boston Celtics, this surgery is going to take him out. He is going to have to rehab it in the off season, and who knows if he'll be able to be even on the court for Game 1, Day 1 for the Boston Celtics in October. Now, obviously, that is a few months away. It's not like it's time kind of crazy, but July, August, September, that's only 3 months. That is a third of the calendar year, or a fourth of the calendar year, excuse me. So you got to make sure that he is ready to go for that. And to kind of give you some more, synopsis and understanding of his injury, Tim Bontemps has some more clarification here, saying that Kristaps said his leg would swell up just from walking around after suffering that leg injury. He said he wasn't sure in Dallas how he would be able to play, but that the adrenaline helped him carry through tonight, and that ultimately is what got him through Game 5, was that hype up, that adrenaline, the fact that he was actually in the finals, going to be there, actually get to feel that feeling with his teammates, with his squad. Ultimately, it just overrode any pain that he felt in his left leg. And that's ultimately what we kind of understood with this injury, was that it was a pain injury. It was more on, couldn't Kristaps Porzingis play through the pain, or can he not play through the pain? And ultimately, in Game 5, he found a way to play through it because he wanted to be out there with his teammates. With some more further clarification on this, injury, and kind of diving in, we look at the article that Tim Bontemps did post on ESPN, where Kristaps said there was definitely some added risk, but that he didn't care. He was like, he wants to give everything he can and then fix it after if he needs to, which obviously we now know will require some surgery. But Porzingis throughout the whole entire thing after Game 2 said, I'm willing to die out there. I'll be out there. Joe said it wasn't a serious injury, after Game 2. So a lot of Celtics fans were, led to believe that Kristaps Porzingis would be available in Game 3 and was going to play. Even if it was on a minute restriction, he still was going to be able to be available. But ultimately, as we know, he didn't play Game 3, he didn't play Game 4, but he was back for this team. Or he didn't play in Game 3, was ruled available for Game 4, but didn't play, but then was, ruled available in Game 5 and did get his playing time there. But Porzingis had some more quotes in this article, basically, capping off the year and just, recognizing that coming to Boston was so fantastic, and, just being a champion and, finally taking that over was great. Saying since last game, he's been thinking, how can he get his body ready for next game? Porzingis said, with the mindset entering Game 5 and how he got himself to a place where he could play. Like, no matter how it is. And today I was like, I'm going to try everything to be out there and get possibly out there. So from the morning, I was preparing myself that I will go out there. And yeah, the medical staff had unbelievable support for me and got me back out there somehow. He's super thankful for them as he gave everything he could. And man, it feels great to be a champion. And like we said, he said he was willing to give everything out there. He was willing to die out there. The medical staff knew that Kristaps Porzingis wanted to be out there. And even though he did overrule the fact that he probably shouldn't have played in Game 5, it didn't harm the Boston Celtics as they got an 18-point win to win Banner 18 and were in control of that game for a majority of the contest, basically having at least an 8 to 10 point lead ending the first quarter and not losing sight of it since. So ultimately, having Porzingis out there, having him not out there, ultimately, in my eyes, didn't necessarily hurt or hinder this Boston Celtics championship or winning that game in Game 5. I'm just glad he got to be out there, glad he got to play with his teammates, glad that Porzingis himself is now an NBA champion. When you think about these things, when you look about it, honestly, when Marcus Smart was traded, I was devastated. I was heartbroken. But because of Porzingis, I was like, damn, he's injury prone. He's not going to be that great. But he comes over. He shows to be a fantastic rim protector. Basically, that presence that Robert Williams brought besides the offensive rebounding with an additional 3-point shot. And then you have, the other bigs who also stepped up. Tillman, Cornette, Horford, Brissett, Cada, whenever their number was called, regardless if it was the regular season or playoffs, they came through and they delivered, especially with Kristaps Porzingis going down. You have to love the depth that really came through for this squad. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on Kristaps Porzingis overriding the medical staff and playing in Game 5? And also, what are your guys' thoughts on Kristaps Porzingis requiring surgery in the offseason? Ultimately, I'm hoping it doesn't put him out to the start of next season. I would like him to work back in and get into some training camp. But as the other updates come out further into the offseason, we'll have more and more stuff to break down around Kristaps Porzingis. So make sure you stay up to date. Make sure you stay in the Digest media, Celtics Digest media, to stay up to date with your Celtics. But as we all know, this is the final part of the video where we get to the comment of the day. So drop down your comments, drop down your thoughts, and you could be picked for the comment of the day. Today's comment of the day goes to Matty Sal 123, talking about Al Horford. In our last video, if you guys missed it, go check it out. But Al Horford is returning to Boston. He said that Al is still one of the league's best big men. Men 2 to 3 his age have trouble keeping up with Big Al. And I totally agree with you, Matt. I've said on live stream on these videos that Al Horford could be a starter in this league, hands down. He took a sacrificial role coming off the bench for this Celtics team this season. And let's not forget, he was the true definition of stay ready mentality. Porzingis had so many injuries throughout the season, through the postseason. And what did Al Horford do? Either got those blocks, hit those threes, or played fantastic defense on switches to make the Celtics really feel like they didn't even lose Kristaps Porzingis for a majority of the playoffs and still look like that same team with adding Kristaps Porzingis, just giving them even a super X factor on top of it. This team was dominant from head to toe, and you have to respect everybody from the front office to the roster to the coaching staff. Everybody did their job, and it's so well deserving that Al Horford is finally blessed as an NBA champion after 17 years of hard work. But as you guys know, if you guys do enjoy the content, if you guys do enjoy the stuff here on Celtics Digest, it is not going to die down throughout the entire offseason. This is going to be a place for everything revolving around the draft, revolving around free agency, revolving around trades, revolving around extensions. Tatum, as we all know, is going to be getting that extension. Will it be after the parade? Will it be before the parade? Who knows? We'll have an update on that. Derrick White, we all know he's rumored to get an extension. We'll have an update on that. News revolving around that. This is the place to stay updated on everything revolving around the Boston Celtics this offseason. So if you do enjoy the content here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Come join us on Celtics Digest. We're going to have weekly live streams starting next week. We're going to post on the community page asking what day, what time works best for everybody so we can get that going. Appreciate you guys. Check out the links in the description to follow us on Twitter. Join the Discord to interact with other Celtics fans. I'm Bruce Velez. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode here of Celtics Digest. Once again, Celtics, Banner 18 is here. The parade is Friday. Hope to catch you, most of you there. I'm Bruce Velez. Peacing out on here on Celtics Digest. Have a great rest of your day. And go Boston Celtics, baby.